Welcome back to the part 2 of the television buying guide. If you guys haven't watched the part 1 of the television buying guide, please go ahead and watch that video. The link for that video will be in the description and also in the cards section. If you don't watch the part 1, you guys won't understand what is going on in part 2 because this video is the continuation of the previous video. So let's get started with the part 2 of the television buying guide. Now let's talk about the next important thing: smart TV, Android TV, normal TV, etc. Few years ago, there was nothing called a smart television or an Android television. As and how the technology advanced, we got to see a lot of different types of TVs, namely the Android television, smart television, different types of televisions. First, let's talk about what is a smart television. If a television has a capacity to connect to the internet using a Wi-Fi connection, it can be used to watch whatever content you want to watch on it, then it is a smart television, just like a smartphone. How you can watch any content on your smartphone screen and in any instant, in any time of the day, just like this. The smart televisions will be connected to the internet, with the help of which you can watch anything like YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, Voot, anything that you want apart from the normal cable television and any time of the day. Obviously, for any smart television, you need an internet connection. This is known as smart television. Variety of television manufacturers make smart televisions like Xiaomi, Viu, TCL or If Falcon, and big brands like Sony, Samsung, LG, etc. So all of these manufacturers make the smart televisions. Now let's talk about Android televisions. Android televisions means televisions which has Android operating system that is running the whole television hardware. For example, you guys will be having a smartphone, right? You'll be having a hardware of the smartphone, and that hardware is being utilized by what? Android software or Android operating system. Just if you're having an Apple phone, Apple iOS is the operating system for your Apple smartphone. Just like that, if a television will be running on Android operating system, then it is known as Android TV, which will be running on Android TV OS. Now let's talk about if you're having a normal TV, you can generally convert a normal TV into a smart TV using a variety of techniques. There are two important methods with the help of which you can do this process. The first process is using Amazon Fire TV Stick or Chromecast. You guys can use Amazon Fire TV Stick or Chromecast. You can connect them to the HDMI port and easily you can view content using the Amazon services and Google services. Okay, this is how you can do it. You guys will be obviously knowing about it. The normal TV can be converted into a smart TV using Amazon Fire TV Stick or a Google Chromecast. This is one method. The second important method is by using just a wireless casting device, namely a Vcast or Anycast. If you guys don't know about wireless casting devices, I've already made a video on wireless casting and a gadget related to it. The link of this video will be in the description and also in the card section. In that video, you'll get to see the cheapest method by which how you can convert your normal basic television into a smart television. Within around 1,000 rupees, you can convert a normal television into a smart television just by using your smartphone as a casting device. Now let's talk about the question, should you guys buy a smart TV or a normal TV? See, the difference between a normal TV and a smart TV is just the operating system. If you guys have seen the smart TV, the price for smart TVs will be generally around 15,000 for a 32 inches, and a normal TV without smart features will be available around 7 to 8,000 rupees in today's time for 32 inches. Now, my advice would be just buy a normal television of 7 to 8,000 rupees of a good brand. Then buy an Amazon Fire TV Stick or you can even buy a Google Chromecast and connect it to your television, and you can utilize all the smart features of that smart TV in your normal TV itself. So instead of investing 20,000 or 15,000 on a smart television itself, you can get all these features on a normal TV just by using a Google Chromecast or an Amazon Fire TV Stick. Or you can even use the Vcast or Anycast casting devices. This is how a normal television and a smart television differs. Now let's come to a very important part, that is contrast ratio. What is contrast ratio? Contrast ratio means, in simplest terms, how blacks look more black and how whites look more white. If you're viewing some rich cinematic content, then you guys might have observed some blacks would look gray and some whites would look yellowish. This is because the contrast ratio on the televisions will not be that good. That's why if you're buying a television, then make sure to check the exact contrast ratio on the television. Different television manufacturer rates the contrast ratio in a different way. Some televisions will have 1000:1 contrast ratio. Some televisions will be having 3000:1 contrast ratio. 1 lakh is to 1 contrast ratio. It depends on the manufacturer and depends on the brand of television which you are buying, but the contrast ratio is a very important thing. If you're buying a television in an offline market, then make sure you guys just check what is the contrast ratio of the television. The contrast ratio is more, in simple terms guys, the blacks on the television will look jet black and it will look more rich in color, not grayish, and the whites look more white or pristine white or crystal white and not yellowish. This is how contrast ratio makes a difference. Now let's come to refresh rate and frame rate. If you guys are planning to buy a television of a 32 inches and use it as a monitor to your computer, then you are making a mistake. Because monitor is a completely different thing and television is completely different thing. Both monitor and television are made for two different use cases. The monitors will be having very high refresh rates of around 100 to 120 Hertz, but televisions will be having very low refresh rates of around 20 to 30 Hertz. This is because televisions are made to sit from a longer distance and watch, but monitors are made to sit at a closer distance and watch. Don't buy a television and use it as a monitor. If you do this, then minor text and several other details will look blurry in this televisions if you're using it as a computer. In simplest terms, guys, if you guys have watched a video is not actually a video. It is actually sequences of images that is displayed at a very fast pace in front of your screen. If you guys watch 1,000 different images in 1 second, then our eye thinks this is not an image, this is sequences of images called a video. That's why a video is not exactly a video, but it is just a sequences of images displayed one after another at a very fast rate. Now let's come to the thing of frame rate. One frame or one image is there. I am standing here, this is my one image. I'll go here, this is my one image. Okay, if I move from this place to this place 4 times and the camera captures all these 4 movements in 1 second and display it in front of your screen, then what happens is there is 4 frames per 1 second. This is called frame rate. If I move from here to here again and the camera captures 60 different photos of me moving and it puts it on your screen in 1 second, then it is known as 60 frames per second. This is known as frame rate or frames per second. More the frame rate, more smooth the video looks on your screen. So when you're choosing a television, make sure you have a frame rate of at least 30 frames per second, and if it is more, then well and good. Now let's talk about refresh rate. Refresh rate is the capacity of an individual television screen of how much images that it can display in one instant. Refresh rate is just like refreshing the screen of your television to show different type of things in one instant. If I'm talking to you right now in this position, this is one whole frame. If I move to this place, then this becomes another frame. If the TV has to display this whole sequence of movement, it has to shift from one frame to another frame. So the pace at which the television shifts from this position to this position of what video it is showing is known as refresh rate. So when you are buying a television, refresh rate has to be a very important thing. If you guys have a refresh rate of over 60 Hertz, then it would be a great choice for you. Generally, there will be a lot of refresh rates like 60 Hertz, 120 Hertz, 240 Hertz, 600 Hertz and 1000 Hertz refresh rate televisions are also present. More the refresh rate, obviously more good and more smooth the movement of the objects that is happening in the video will be looking like. Now let's talk about a very important thing of televisions, namely the ports of the televisions. You guys might have seen a lot of different holes that is present behind the television. These are basically the ports with the help of which you connect different external components to your television to enhance the television viewing experience. So I will tell you guys strict rules for what are the amount of ports that should be present. USB ports should be at least 2 to 3. For example, if you want to plug in your pen drive, watch the photos of your recent trip, and then USB port plays a very important role. So USB port should be minimum 2. If more than 2 is present, then extremely good. So HDMI port should be at least 3 ports, because in one port you guys would have connected the DTH cable, or the dish will be connected to the HDMI port. In the other 2 ports, you guys can connect different devices like an Amazon Fire TV stick or a Chromecast or different types of gadgets. So HDMI ports should be at least 3. Cable port also plays a very important role if you guys are still using an old cable televisions. Next important port is audio in and audio out ports. There will be red, white and yellow colored ports that will be present behind the televisions. If you guys have observed, these ports are basically for the audio input and audio outputs. If you guys are using an external speakers, if you guys want to enhance the sound quality of the existing televisions, then these type of ports are the audio ports with the help of which you can enhance the sound by using
using the external speakers. The next important port that generally should be present, if this port is not present, then it's also fine. That port is the VGA port, or the normal monitor input port. This is because if you guys are using some projection, or if you guys are giving some presentations in your office and you have a VGA cable that connects from the projector to the television, then VGA cable becomes a very important thing. VGA input will be going into the projector and the same VGA input will be going into the television. So if a VGA input is there, then it will be an added advantage to your televisions. So these are the different kinds of ports that must be present in any television that you guys buy. Now let's talk about another important thing, that is the price and brand of televisions that you buy. You people might have observed from the last 1 year, Xiaomi has become the market leader in televisions. This is because they started producing outstanding televisions at a very less price with included smart features as well. We got to see 32 inches television at 14,000 rupees. We got to see 40 inches televisions at 20,000 rupees. We got to see 55 inches television at around 35-40,000 rupees. This is how, with the help of proper pricing, Xiaomi became the market disruptor in the television market as well. So what exactly should be the price of the television that you guys are buying? As of now in 2018-19, if you guys find a smart television of 32 inches of a HD display, then around 15,000 would be the maximum price that you have to be paying for the television of 32 inches. 32 inches HD ready and a smart television will be available under 15,000 rupees. Now let's talk about 42 inches. 42 inches full HD smart television, not more than 25,000. This is how you have to choose the 42 inches television. 55 inches television should be having 4K display at least. It is from a good brand and it is priced at around 45 to 50,000 rupees. Then it is a huge thumbs up. You can certainly go ahead and buy the television. This is how you have to choose a 55 inches television. If you guys are planning to buy a huge television for a home theater system, then 75 inches with 4K and external added features like HDR10, Dolby Vision certification, several other specifications like Dolby Atmos surround sound system, a lot of other important factors will play a very important role if you buy a 75 inches television. Now, what are the extra added features that you guys will find in televisions these days? The first important thing is HDR ready televisions. HDR is known as higher dynamic range, HDR10 certification, HDR10 plus certification, the Dolby Vision certification, Bravia engines that you guys can find in Sony televisions, Dolby Atmos surround sound system that you guys can find in certain televisions, and a lot of other miscellaneous features which will add up to the already existing good features to the television is very important. So basic spec check that you have to do before buying a television would be screen size, a resolution, a contrast ratio, refresh rate, price and brand. So guys, these are the few important points which I have divided into series of different videos and explained you guys in the easiest terms, with the help of which you guys can choose the best television for the price budget that you have. If you guys have liked this video, please hit the like button and share this video with your friends who want to buy a television. And if you guys have still not subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button, as we have some awesome content on our channel. If you guys have any doubt related to the television buying, please write them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, guys.